Shalom, 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 my family. I'm using this app, man, because it's better than damn Google Hangouts. You feel me? Oh, yeah. Thanks to Lisa Cabrero, I got an app I can use now. YouTube, I know they're going to stop using Google Hangouts. Anyway, so it's all good. I can use this app now. Live stream on this app, baby. They say it's 4th of July, the Patriot of America. I say the enemy is celebrating this devilish country, Babylon the Great, along with London and them damn Englishmen, you Edomites. But the title of this video, of this channel, Euro News, Baked Alaska, Heatwave in the U.S., northernmost state, disrupt 4th of July. I done had a video I said, celebration. Fortunately, so I'm gonna read this again. Heat wave in the U.S., United States, northernmost state, disrupts 4th of July celebration. I said the Most High is not gonna let these heathens party all the time, party all the time, man, to party all the time, party all the time. Y'all ain't gonna be partying, y'all heathens. You know how you heathens like doing when you go out party. Hey man, we going out for Cinco de Mayo, man. We going out. Hey, we gonna have a good ball, have a couple of drinks and stuff, and watch a little football. We gonna watch the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators, man. We gonna watch the Texas A&M against the Texas Longhorns, man. We gonna watch USC versus UCLA. We gonna have a good time with Penn State and Ohio. We gonna have the Michigan Wolverines, I guess that's what they call them. The Michigan football team is going to play Michigan State. Duke University going to play Kentucky. We're going to have a good old time. We're going to have chicken wings, and we're going to go to the race car NASCAR game and race, and we're going to just drink and say nigger jokes and all that shit. Well, I got a damn joke for you, Esau. Your ass is getting baked left and right. You have some damn slit smoke liquor, whatever the hell y'all drinking, y'all Budweiser, y'all those liquors and all this brewery y'all go to hanging out drinking beers. You got one drink in one hand and that sun hitting your ass and on the other side baking the shit out you, all right? So happy 4th of July on that. I'm sick of your Edomite shit, and I'm like doing these videos. So let's watch this video as I pander around my house because I don't have to stay by my laptop with this new app. Once again, thank you, Lisa Cabrero. Hold on one second.
These hot temperatures that we're seeing in Alaska are pretty incredible, really. Not only is it due to have its highest ever temperature on record, but that record could be broken again in the coming days. So that's really serious, not only hitting it once, but potentially a second and a third time. And this has been mirrored as well by extreme temperatures across other parts of the Northern Hemisphere. We had this last summer, and it was reflected on as a period of real climate change taking hold, and it's quite worrying that we're seeing this on both sides of the Atlantic for a second summer in succession.
So this is perhaps another sign of global warming?
It's difficult to suggest that all of it is down to global warming. There are many factors at play when it comes to weather. But as the Earth warms, so the temperature of the seas and oceans rises as well, and that's associated with extreme heat that we're seeing. And around Alaska at the moment, the seawater is a particularly high temperature, which is part of the reason why there's this very high temperature in the air around the coast as well.
Well, these extreme temperatures come after a record dry month of June for Alaska. So will that pose particular problems for a state which is normally, used to dealing with extreme cold?
Yeah, there's a couple of issues really. I think one of them is there's always a risk of fire when you have these high temperatures. But also Alaska, as you pointed out, is a region that's more used to cold weather. So having housing that's designed to hold heat is very problematic when we have these extreme temperatures. And that's something that we've seen in Northern Europe as well. We struggle with that here in the United Kingdom, but it's something that's happening to Alaska, probably even more alarming due to its geographic location and where it sits in the world and how we expect temperatures to be in a place such as that.
Hey, that's that. Wait a minute now. I don't want to show you this. Wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute. Give y'all a little Alaskan history. Just in case y'all didn't know, Alaska got a Bermuda Triangle that people get lost in. And I'm gonna give a little details. Hold on 1 second. I'm just give me a second now. Bear with me, family. Bear with me. It's all good. It's all good. Bear with me now. Bear with your brother,
Hey, movie
man.
lovers, did you know you can watch TV on your phone? Discover over 100 TV channels.
There's so much damn shit happening, make your head spin. We too busy watching television, not giving a damn. But hey, don't get snuck with a damn. Don't get hit with a right cross by the Most High, and you ain't looking.
Vanishing in Alaska, the Bermuda Triangle on ice.
Now I want you to watch this video, okay? Cause there's a Bermuda Triangle in Alaska that's 16,000 or 60,000 has been missing.
Going MIA, missing in Alaska.
What has happened to these people? Where have they gone? What is this mystery? What happens when a person disappears?
Does the answer lie in Alaska's extremes of topography and climate, or just in the dark legends of the native elders?
They even have a phrase, gone missing. An old person might say, yeah, you can gone missing real easy out there.
It's been called Alaska's Bermuda Triangle, a forbidding expanse of mountain, fjord, and glacier. Travelers have been known to disappear from there, among them the famous and the powerful. In 1972, an airplane carrying 2 U.S. congressmen disappeared. One of the largest search and rescue efforts in history was launched, yet not a trace of the missing aircraft has ever been found. Some believe the Cessna is trapped in a glacier or in the icy depths of Prince William Sound. A few speculate that the federal government is somehow implicated in the disappearance. But even the
I'm sorry.
conspiracy theory doesn't begin
I had to put my phone on not disturb because I don't want nobody to call me while I'm showing y'all this video.
to explain the mystery of vanishing in Alaska. Join us for Alaska's Bermuda Triangle.
A land so tall and wide, it seems to mirror infinity. Alaska.
It's a place beyond time and space, and you might as well try and imagine the distance between us and the nearest galaxy. And in fact, you have constellations of mountains and lakes and tundra and rivers going off to the horizon. And you get to that horizon, and there's another landscape beyond that. And you can keep going and going and going. That's Alaska.
People often disappear into this immensity, never to be heard from again. It's a fact of life in Alaska that natives have known for centuries.
The Inupiaq Eskimos have a phrase for someone who disappears out in the country. They say that he's gone missing, and they speak of it that way anytime someone doesn't return. They say so-and-so gone missing. Oh, Harry Glynn, I guess it was 5 years ago, he gone missing. And that explains everything.
From southeast Alaska, to the Brooks Range in the north, a vast, roughly triangular area. People commonly vanish without a trace. It's been called the Bermuda Triangle of the North. Except in Alaska, disappearances are far more frequent than in the Bermuda area. According to authorities, people go missing at least once a month.
I ask myself, why aren't we all walking around talking to each other, saying, what has happened to these people? Where have they gone? What is this mystery? What happens when a person disappears?
To Sheila Nickerson and most longtime Alaskans, the subject hits uncomfortably close to home.
I was drawn into the story of the disappearance of Kent Roth in the spring of 1992 because he had been a colleague of mine at the Department of Fish and Game.
In happier times, Kent Roth and his three brothers, Jeff, Scott, and Jason, live the fabled Alaskan good life. Working hard when they need to, but playing hooky when they can. They go deer hunting, king salmon fishing, and barnstorming in their private planes to out-of-the-way lodges, where they have Alaska pretty much to themselves.
We loved doing anything and everything that had to do with living in Alaska, whether it was flying or fishing or hunting, skiing, just being in the outdoors. And naturally that led us each step to something that involved airplanes.
On the first weekend in May 1992, the Roths fly from their home in Anchorage to Yakutat, 330 miles away. It's a family ritual timed to the spring run of steelhead trout.
This was a particularly important trip. My brother Scott had lost his eye in an accident about a year before. And a lot of what we were doing for the past year was to do all the things that we'd always done, because he wanted to still do them and make sure he still could.
Scott makes only one concession to his recent injury. He promises his wife that he will take commercial flights to Yakutat and back. The other Roth brothers, along with three close friends, travel in a pair of small airplanes. The outbound flights are uneventful. But the weather begins to deteriorate on May 2nd.
Been looking at the terminal forecast for you. It looks like Yakutat's really the only problem.
As a precaution, Jason Roth and a friend decide to get a head start back home. They board Jason's single-engine airplane, which is not equipped for flying in bad weather. The second aircraft is a twin-engine Cessna 340. The plane and its pilot, Jeff Roth, are checked out for all-weather flying. So Jeff and the four other men decide to squeeze in one more morning of world-class steelhead fishing. Jason, meanwhile, flies out of the storm into what Alaskan pilots call bluebird weather.
3 hours fuel, 2 hours en route.
At 6 p.m., the others take off in the second plane, bound for home, where a warm reception awaits them.
Pilot's name Jeff Roth. Whenever we'd have one of these trips, we'd get everybody together as soon as we were done and at somebody's house, and it seemed like half of Anchorage would show up, and we'd tell tales of what we'd done that week. 5 persons aboard.
There are 2,700 robocalls made every second in the U.S. You might have been on the receiving end of one today.
Yeah, there are dozens of apps that can help block those calls, but Sarah Navoy found one that not only prevents them from making another fake call, but also gets back at the scammers.
When his phone rings,
Because of my job responsibilities, I'm required to check my phone.
Hello?
Jason Silk has to pick up,
That one right there.
even when it's a number he doesn't recognize.
All on the same day.
Problem is, many times it's not only not work-related, it's a scammer.
It's become an issue where it's distracting at work. You get upset, angry, you know. Dylan!
Even off the clock,
Come on, bud.
the calls just keep coming.
When I'm trying to do stuff with my children and, you know, I'm getting 4 or 5 calls in an hour's time, you know, it's very just annoying.
Jason signed up for the Do Not Call registry, but his phone kept ringing. That service only blocks legal telemarketing calls. Most robocalls are not. So when he heard about another option,
That's genius.
he was all in.
So this is literally a program talking to this guy? That's amazing.
The app is called RoboKiller. It not only stops your phone from ringing when a scammer calls, but actually answers on your behalf.
Hello?
Hi, this is Leslie calling.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 minute.
Hi, how are you doing today?
1 second. How do you know if someone's breathing?
What?
Those are answer bots, recordings that pretend to be you and do their best to keep the scammer talking.
It's really game on for us. We're taking the fight back to the spammer.
Ethan Garr helped create RoboKiller and says the bots can waste 15,000 hours of scammers' time each month. That's time they can't call you or someone else.
Our answer bots are really smart. They know how to get to the human behind the telemarketing call.
The answer bots range from funny to rude and obnoxious.
We're great believers in getting even with the spammers, and our answer bots are a great way to do that.
It's estimated that scammers spend more than $400 million a year to call and bug you, but the scams rake in $9.5 billion in benefits.
Lay down.
They've never taken Jason's money, but they've taken plenty of his time and patience.
Oh, I love it. It's engaging him by asking him questions.
You're gonna tell me I made a big mistake?
So while not usually a vindictive person,
Now he's annoyed because he's having to answer questions.
Jason says getting revenge on scammers is beyond satisfying.
It puts a smile on my face to hear the telemarketer get aggravated, you know? It's like, what do you think you're doing to us people? We have lives, stuff that we're doing. Nobody asked you to call.
Hear this one correctly.
The app will send you a notification letting you know that it blocked a call, and if the app makes a mistake, you can use the allow button to make sure it doesn't happen again.
What's happening? Did it freeze up? What's going on?
Through valleys. But the object is to cover every piece of land that we can, looking for whatever we're looking for. The search for the 3 Roth brothers and their friends, Tim Thornton and Brian Barber, is one of Alaska's longest and most extensive. Every possible variation of the flight corridor is searched and researched. Almost 60,000 square miles is scoured over a period of 5 weeks. Even when the official search is suspended, volunteers still patrol the skies. Among them, Jason Roth.
Throughout the rest of the summer, I'd fly afternoons and evenings after work, just go down and search, but I wasn't looking to see a fire on the beach. I was looking for a piece of an airplane.
Yet no trace is ever found of the plane and its 5 missing men. Years earlier, on October 16, 1972, 2 of America's most powerful men go missing along the very same flight corridor as the Wolf brothers. Their plane mysteriously vanishes along an east-west flight path named Victor 319, bisecting the Alaska Triangle. In October 1972, stunning news from Alaska. Missing the House Majority Leader, Hale Boggs. Also lost one of the rising stars of the House, Congressman Nick Begich. What happened to these 2 prominent statesmen is one of the great Alaskan mysteries, one that has now bridged the generations.
For our family, we never quite have come to terms with it. On my dad's age, almost to the day today of when he passed away, and I find that hard to believe because I never thought of my dad as being my age.
Congressman Nick Begich was 40 years old the day he climbed into a twin-engine Cessna 310 with Thomas Hale Boggs.
Dad's had a long history with Alaska. He was a sponsor of the Alaska Statehood Bill because he basically lived across the street from Howard Pollock at one point, who became one of the first congressmen from Alaska.
On October 16, 1972, Boggs is in Alaska to support Congressman Begich's bid for re-election. He is a powerful ally. As House Majority Leader, Boggs is 4th in line for the presidency. He is also a past member of the Warren Commission. Among his 3 children is a young journalist named Cokie Boggs Roberts. Unlike Boggs, a 15-term veteran of Congress, Nick Begich is a freshman. But he is credited with pushing through a landmark piece of legislation, the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, the largest settlement with indigenous people in U.S. history.
It involved 44 million acres of land and just a little less than $1 billion in cash. But it was also absolutely required in order to get a right-of-way to build the pipeline. And that was unheard of at that time in history, that someone could just come in and move that kind of a legislation through the Congress.
The man with the Buddy Holly
Yeah, well, he's trying to rule shit, ain't
Minnesota is fiercely proud of his adopted state. There is just one thing he doesn't care for: the way Alaskans tend to travel.
He really did not like flying in small planes. In fact, he detested it. One of his friends has described times when he was green in the face getting off planes because he so disliked it. But nonetheless, he did it.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, the white-knuckle flyer, his high-powered guest, and a political aide named Russell Brown take off in a twin-engine Cessna. Their destination? A fundraiser in the state capital of Juneau, 3 hours away. At the controls is Don Johns, a famous local pilot. The 38-year-old Johns is the model of the Alaskan bush pilot, a champion skier and long-distance swimmer. Johns has flown all over the Arctic in all weathers. But some say that he's cocky, a risk-taker.
I know that he was a capable, competent pilot most of the time, but he was arrogant, and he alienated a lot of business people and pilots by his...
Hey, movie lovers, did you know you can watch TV on your phone?
You can look at him.
Discover over 100 TV channels. Oh, did we mention it's free?
His demeanor.
You can look at him and tell he damn
12 minutes into the flight, as the plane crosses the Chugach
cocky
Mountains,
Edomite.
Johns radios his flight plan. The tower replies with a question. Does the Cessna have emergency gear, and an emergency locator transmitter, or ELT beacon, aboard. Affirmative, says Johns. It is the last they hear from the plane. By 12:30 p.m., the Cessna is overdue at the Juneau airport. The first alert goes out. But small planes go down all the time in Alaska without injury. No one is panicked, particularly as the pilot, Don Johns, is a master of the emergency landing.
We did get a very comforting call from Ted Stevens. Senator Stevens had been with the pilot many times and had flown the plane. Said that he personally had been down with the pilot twice, that he was a bush pilot that very well knew what to do if you got in some sort of emergency condition, and don't give up hope because the guy's liable to be down someplace and find him.
As night falls swiftly in the Alaskan autumn, another phone call is made to the home of Congressman Begich in Washington, D.C.
You know, Mom got the call, that there was problems, that the plane hadn't made it in. And I remember that morning when she came and told us kids, and there were 6 children, we were all getting ready for school except for the youngest, and the question was, do you want to go to school today because it's going to be on national news? There's going to be a lot of questions. And we're Alaskans. We went to school. We did what we needed to do.
But a well-meaning comment from a classmate shatters their stoic northern composure.
She says to me, we're so sorry, the plane's gone down. And I got mad and I flipped out and yelled at her and said something. I can't remember what it was. And at that moment realized this is big.
After his father's plane is reported missing, 11-year-old Tom Begich walks to school with his older brother, Nick. The skies over their home in Washington, D.C. are calm.
We used to walk past this little bridge and up into the school grounds because we were that close. And we stopped at the bridge, and I remember looking up at a cloud formation and saying, well, maybe that's, an omen. Maybe the plane will come now. We'll see the plane.
Far-off Alaska, however, dark clouds obscure the search area. Snow and ice are making flying conditions dangerous.
It's pretty claggy. In the southern hemisphere, that means they're just not worth going out and trying to test Mother Nature's resolve to keep you from flying safely. And to reduce it to simplified terms, the weather was just plain rotten.
Nevertheless, an Air Force HC-130 Hercules searches for the missing plane throughout the night, peering through the cloud cover with infrared scopes. An Army unit is dispatched to an area south of Anchorage known as Portage Pass to search on foot. The last message from the missing plane places it in this area, a zone where many planes have been lost. The narrow pass, plagued by icing and turbulence, has been called a 5,000-foot-high wind tunnel.
At this moment, an 11-man Army search team is in those mountains there, scouring every foot in the deep snow, trying to come up with any trace of the 3 men and Congressman Boggs. To this point, they've found nothing, but they continue to try, and they say they won't give up.
In case the Cessna has crossed the pass into Prince William Sound, Coast Guard vessels patrol the frigid waters, 37 degrees and choked with small icebergs. Survival time here is about 15 minutes. Extraordinary measures are taken because of the high-profile passengers aboard the plane, House Majority Leader Hale Boggs and Congressman Nick Begich.
I remember going to the briefing with my mother at the Pentagon, where the generals came in and all the top technology guys came in, and they told us what they were using, at least to some extent.
What we were told was that they were using camera and sensing devices, which were experimental, and they couldn't tell us much about them other than the fact they were being used. They were using the SR-71 and photographing the state. Again, they wouldn't advertise if they were using it, or even admit they were using it, I think, at the time.
The secret spy plane SR-71, known as the Blackbird, is deployed for the first time for search and rescue. The high-altitude jet can photograph 100,000 square miles in 1 hour in pinpoint detail.
These are things that can pick the date off of a dime at 30,000 feet. Everything technologically available was deployed for this search. And that was, from what we understood, from the very, very highest level of government, that they were committed, at least that was what we were told, to finding the answer to what happened to this plane.
We're looking for the aircraft in pieces, in toto. We're also looking for slide marks, burn marks. Any aircraft that crashes will leave a trace. It doesn't just flat disappear.
There were hundreds and hundreds of planes in the air, fishing vessels in the sea, everything that was possible to move into that search. Well, the citizens of Alaska moved into that search along with whatever the military had to offer.
There are 2,700 robocalls made every second in the U.S. You might have been on the receiving end of one today?
When a weak signal from an emergency locator transmitter is picked up from Coghlan Island, west of Juneau, the area is exhaustively searched, but to no avail. Any and all leads are investigated. Ham radio operators in California report hearing mysterious distress calls from an unnamed pilot. The radio buffs are flown to Alaska to be questioned by the Air Force. Officials even put a call out for people who have dreams or premonitions about the airplane. A visiting psychic from Kenya offers his opinion. In a vision, he sees the plane on a mountainside, intact but hidden under foliage. Though no clues are found to determine the fate of the missing men, their families are upbeat and hopeful, at least in public.
A search of the nature of this search brutalizes a family. It's every moment you think you hear something, somebody sees some trees sawed off and they think that maybe that's the site that a plane went down, and your hopes get up, and then somebody says, no, it's just, an abnormality in the terrain. Your hopes go down, up and down, 30 days until it's more down than up, and then finally somebody has to say, we gotta turn the lights out.
On November 24th, 1972, after 39 days, the hunt for the missing plane is finally suspended.
And a high-ranking Air Force official says he believes there is a strong possibility the men will never be found. That statement brings up the gut-stabbing probability that we will never really know what happened to Hale Boggs, Nick Begich, his aide Russ Brown, and Don Johns, that eccentric, almost daredevil pilot of the missing Cessna 310.
Another plane in Alaska gone. This time, confounding even a supreme effort by the U.S. military to find it. Are there mysterious forces within the so-called Alaska-Bermuda Triangle that cause ships and planes to disappear? No one knows. But at the time of the missing Boggs-Begich flight, there are clearly other forces